Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tracking Tuesday, episode 2. It's been a long time since episode 1. And in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at Monza, which is probably the most popular track in the game because it's also one of the most famous, as well as just one of the more simpler tracks. Now, Monza was added to the game in update 3.2.0 back in 2020. So it's been around a long time, and as I said, it's one of the more popular tracks in the game. The start of the track has 32 grid spots, which makes it the second largest amount in the game, with only Fuji having more, I believe 56 or something. Interesting for Monza is also it has the junior circuit, which you can drive around. So if you go around here, you won't get any valid lap times. Of course, the junior circuit is just the short version. Once race mode comes out, the junior circuit will become available, at least for race mode. As you can see, there's also a part of the oval from Monza, because if you didn't know, there is an oval at Monza. However, it is only here to make it look a bit better. You can try to drive on it, but you won't get far because you'll end up just at this open area. The only other part of Monza that has any banking is here, which is the bridge, which the track, of course, dives underneath. You can't really get up here, I believe. Okay, maybe you can. I'm not sure. No, you can't really get up here with a car. So if you wanted to just be funny and put a car up here, it's not possible. So yeah, with that out of the way, we're gonna do a lap around Monza. And since it's an Italian track, we'll go with a Ferrari, of course. So yeah, in this lap I'm just gonna show you some of the racing lines and braking points that you need to keep in mind for the track. So here is the start-finish line, which I already showed off earlier. Then here you can turn right onto the junior circuit, but we're not going to do that since we're just going to take a look at the main lap. If you want braking reference for the first chicane, you of course got to use I recommend you use the braking markers from the 250, 100. Most cars you need to brake around the 150 mark, though some cars like GT4 you can brake later, or cars like the LMP1 car you have to brake at the 200 mark. Then you get to the first chicane, which you of course need to take over on this part. And if you try to go over the grass here or through here, this part, if you go fast enough, you'll get stuck on. You'll get shot into the air by death launchers. One thing I always see people do is whenever they get to the next turn after chicane, which is this long right-hander, they always go pretty wide. However, I recommend you go here. You won't get any corner cuts if you stay close to the wall, because this is the shorter line and therefore also faster. Then you get to the second chicane, where you need to brake similar braking points as the first chicane, and you go through here. And here, if you go too far to the right, you'll hit a death launcher. However, you can go wide outside after the chicane. Go over the gravel here. It doesn't really cost you any grip. Of course, there's also the escape road here, which isn't actually that much slower than the normal route. However, you do get a corner cut, so your lap won't be valid. Then we get to the last mode. You get this turn, and if you go here, then you can go pretty wide. However, not too wide, or else you get a corner cut. Then you get this turn, which you can also take pretty deep in here before you get a corner cut. And you can also go wide here if you have to. However, you need to be careful not to hit this wall. Of course, here you go underneath the banking, and then after the banking you get to Ascari, these chicanes. As that Toyota just demonstrated, there's and that Ford. As those cars just demonstrated, there are a lot of death launchers here, because you would be able to cut a lot here, but if you go too fast, then of course you go with the death launchers. Of course, just like with the previous two chicanes, you should use the markers, brake markers here as reference. With GTE, you usually brake around somewhere around here. And yeah, you need to be careful not to go too wide onto one side or the other side of the track to not get a corner cut. And then you get onto the final straight. Here's of course where the junior track joins. And then we go on to the final turn, which is Parabolica, which you also need to use the brake markers there. And you can't run really wide at Parabolica. This is different from the league game for Project Trackday, where this is pretty slippery, but on a normal game this is not slippery at all, so you can just drive on there. And once you get back onto the straight, then I recommend you go across here to save some time. If you're going only for lap time, for one fast lap time, you should go as straight as possible. But if you are going for like a full race, I recommend you slowly go to the other side of the track for the next lap. If you want more specific track guides for Monza, then I'll put up a link for at least another channel who does track guides, or at least used to do track guides. He doesn't really do that anymore, but he has a track guide for GT and LMP1 around this track. His name is Row Racing Guide. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that out. So thank you all for watching. I'll be making another video hopefully soon, and I'll see you next time. Bye!